Hi, Gina Timmons. Who's calling?
I'm calling you from the Happy Dale Mental Hospital.
What's the matter?
We need you to come in right away. I have the unfortunate duty of informing you that a terrible accident took place this
Et comedisti deligno, et quo praecer eram tibi, ne comederes maledicta terra, in opere tuo in laboribus comedes eam cuntis diebus via tua.
And we will prove that last April 30th on Mile Island, Colonel Kortzmeyer was murdered by Brian BASCO in cold blood. The defense will attempt to confuse you with trickery and lies.
Los germinavi tibi e comedes herbas terrae, in sudore vultus tui vesceris pane dona revertalis, in terram de quo assuntus escuia pulvis, es et in pulverem revertem.
Order!
Quo capitabam
For the last time, Mr. BASCO, tell us what you remember.
I don't remember anything.
Oh, yes. Amnesia. If you think you'll get off by pretending to be insane, then you've really lost your mind.
I want order!
Ava eo quod mater essent, cunctorum viventium. Hec quo queronimus Deus Adam et uxorieis tunicas pelicias et induiteos. Et aite que Adam factus es quasi unus et nobis sciens.
And given the doubts created by the defendant's mental health, he will be admitted into Happy Dale Psychiatric Hospital, where Dr. Bennett will determine whether his supposed insanity has any basis in reality. I'm postponing this trial until then.
No! I'm not crazy!
Gina!
Brian?
It's me.
What's your game? You call me telling me I have to identify a headless body to say it's yours, and then you vanish for 2 days?
Get me out of here.
I went to your bogus burial and... All right. Where are you?
Buried in my grave.
That can't be. How am I gonna get you out of there? This is insane. Get me out of this tomb, say nothing to anyone. Be careful, murderer's waiting at exit. Battery low, come quick, banana. Banana? I don't know what went down in Hawaii, or what they did to you in that psychiatric ward. I don't know why you escaped, or why you faked your own death. I don't know how you got down there. I don't even know whether you're the Brian I know. All I want is for everything to go back to normal. That's all right, though. I won't ask for help, I won't call the cops, and I won't leave the cemetery. But I will get you out of there. You win, Brian. We'll play it your way. It came with a really cute purple ribbon, too. I don't know. Carrying that around would be a chore, but the ribbon alone... It'll be a great souvenir from Brian's phony funeral. Wonder what that's for. A ladder here? Huh?
Hello, dear.
Hello?
Up here, on the roof.
Do I know you?
Well, of course not, dear. I'm Agatha Saffron von Rubenstein, PhD in parapsychology and poltergeistian phenomena from the University of Virginia, member of the North American Parapsychological Association, and also I'm a medium. 'Cause I like it.
Nice to meet you. I'm Gina. Gina Timmons.
It's amazing, my dear, how much pain is in your aura. Come inside. I'll help you stop your suffering. Hurry, I'll be right down.
Well, this is an interesting start. It's connected to the cable that comes down from the roof. Agatha?
Hello, dear. Let's start from the very beginning. How long is it you've been dead now?
What? No, I'm alive. As far as I know.
Oh, well, isn't that a shame? You really could have helped me out here.
Well, sorry. Helped you what?
To find out whether the spirits in this cemetery are on my side or not. Reverend McCormick asked me to find out why the poltergeists infesting this graveyard are here. But first, I must know if they're on my side or not.
Is something weird going on in this cemetery?
Weird? Not at all. Well, the only strange thing is it seems like a UN summit with such an international set of spirits. Besides that, just the usual. Miscellaneous poltergeists and a hideous past tormenting the primordial energy here, which, by the way, is centered precisely inside this crypt.
Why do you say the cemetery seems like the UN?
Because there are spirits from many different countries. China, France, Germany, Spain, Brazil, Sweden, Egypt, Australia, and a few from right here, like you.
Agatha, I am not a ghost. I'm not even dead.
You're not? Well, have it your way.
What's so hideous about the past of this crypt?
A horrific, shameful, and hideous crime. During the Civil War, before this graveyard was here, this used to be a Yankee prison.
Wow, how interesting. Go on.
On the night of April 24th, 1864, a captain of the Confederacy, Noah Kilgore, was waiting to be executed. He had come to terms with death, but during a change of guards, his luck changed too. The lieutenant in charge of watching him was Philemon Kilgore, his own brother.
Two brothers fighting on opposite sides?
Civil war is always fratricidal, dear. Brother against brother. That's what it consists of. But anyway, Noah pleaded with his brother to let him go. And though Philemon didn't want to betray his army, his brotherly love won out, and he let his brother escape.
What's so horrific and shameful about that? Sounds like a nice story to me. Almost corny.
Don't jump the gun, dear. As soon as Philemon set him free, Noah whacked his brother over the head and left him unconscious. He exchanged clothes with Philemon and stuck him in the cell.
Of course. The brothers bore such a resemblance that nobody noticed the difference, right?
Yes, but Noah didn't want his brother to give up the big secret, so he set fire to his brother's cell. End of story.
The end? That awful murderer didn't get punished?
Well, eventually he died, of course. Several years later, after becoming a hero for the Yankees.
A war hero? That's not fair.
Wait, dear. After he burned Philemon alive, a voice tormented Noah in his dreams. It said, "Come to me, brother. As I burn, so shall you." And one day, driven mad by Philemon's voice, Noah returned to this place, and sure as sin, he was burned alive.
Huh? And what was the purpose of telling me this saga?
Noah and Philemon's tormented souls are the most powerful in this graveyard. They make up its primordial energy core, and I need their consent before contacting any other spirits.
So what do these poltergeists, which Reverend McCormick is so scared of, do?
Oh, lots of mischief. You know how these spirits can be. They drag chains, howl, lift their skirts when nuns come by, suddenly appear before visitors. They're such rascals.
Okay, this is getting pretty gross. Let's talk about something else. Tell me about that cable you slid down.
My parabiothermal cable? Well, it detects sudden changes in temperature caused by paranormal phenomena.
Like in the movies, when a ghost is going to appear and everything starts to look cold?
More or less. But in movies, they never quite get these things right. The more subdued spirits, like the ones in this crypt, display their temper using temperatures. If they are displeased by a presence, they emit heat. But if they are happy, they give off cold.
How does that cable work?
Very well, dear. Its filaments are temperature sensitive. If there is a variation of more than 20 degrees Celsius in less than 5 seconds, they send a signal to the ectothermal scanning machine outside the crypt. By analyzing its readings, I am able to determine the temperament or mood of the spirit that caused the thermal change. Pretty simple, isn't it?
So why did you put it right here?
Because I need to know whether the spirits in the crypt who are in charge around here are happy with my presence. If they emit cold temperatures, I can make contact with any spirit in this cemetery. But if they give off heat, then I'd better clear out. And Reverend McCormick will just have to find another medium.
Fascinating, Agatha, but let me ask you something else. See you later, Agatha.
Whenever you want, dear.
There's a bit of everything. A backpack, a tape recorder, a Ouija board, a dried out lemon, a flashlight. I bet that flashlight could be useful. But Brian always says that when you find things like this, the batteries are always dead. Agatha, does that flashlight work?
I just changed the batteries yesterday. Take it if you like.
Well, that proves Brian's first law wrong. Wow, that is huge. It's hung in the air thanks to a set of sturdy steel cables. It must be about a 20-foot drop to the bottom. Yikes! What a welcoming place. Huh? A tunnel? Wait a sec. If I've got this right, then behind that wall is the hole they buried Brian in. Not that that improves things much, but at least now I know I have two options. Either move the slab of stone off the grave and start digging, at the risk that somebody might see me, or break through this wall. Doesn't look easy. But at least I'm not out in the wide open with nosy people walking by. Let's see what this says. Captain Noah W. Kilgore, 1823 to 1864. A Confederate soldier buried in New York. That's weird. Yes, that's the thing to do. Darn. Someone could have put a hole, tunnel, lever, or something else that might make it easier for me to reach Brian. I have no other choice but to remove one of these blocks of stone. But which? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I think it'll be best to choose that one in the middle with the ring. It'll be easier to remove than the ones on the side. It gives me the creeps, but Brian is behind that wall. So if I don't take the urn, I might end up spilling its contents. Although, it would be worse if they poured out into my pocket. Didn't something like that traumatize a character on 6 Feet Under for years? It's filled with ashes. Human ashes, no less. According to Agatha, it detects sudden temperature changes, both hot and cold. Graves, graves, and more graves. Huh, I hope I don't have to find anything among them. It would take me everlasting eternity. I've been here before when the hearse brought Brian in. Above the spigots is a lion's head, or a castrated cat. I think that's the same one they used to bring Brian's coffin from the psychiatric hospital. Let's see if it's open. A flat spare tire. What a driver. Nice calendar he's got here. An old blanket. Oh, and one of those straps they use to lower coffins into the grave. I'll just borrow that. Hey, this thing's keys are in the ignition. Something tells me it won't work. Okay, it works, but enough is enough. Someone might show up. If things start to get ugly when I get Brian out, at least we have a way to escape now. Father, I'm trimming the hedges. If you need me to put the coffins together, ring the bell. Signed by someone named Luann. It's fairly dark in there, but I think it might be a maintenance room. Yeah, it's probably a maintenance workshop. Man, it's darker in here than when we came for Brian's pseudo-funeral. I guess Reverend McCormick turned out all the lights when he left. There's something behind this grating. If only I could get it open. Yeah, looks like there's something underneath. A trap door. They better not keep their dog in there. Ah. I might be able to use that. Considering where I found it, it seems pretty clean. Let's see what happens if I climb on this. Why, yes! It was a wooden box. Think there's something inside? Hey, a key. I wonder what it's for. Let's see if it fits this lock. Okay, once I rescue Brian, I'll bring it back here. Someone told me that in the olden days, these baskets didn't have such long handles, but they added them when it was discovered rich people always sit as far away from the aisle as possible.
Jiffy. Don't you worry your holy old self for nothing.
Hurry up, little mama.
Well, looks like I managed to get that janitor girl to come. I hope Reverend McCormick doesn't show up at some point and ruin my plan. Hello?
Wait. You're the gal from that crazy guy's funeral. Is that where I saw you before?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, but don't come crying to Luann. I'm busier than a bee in a beehive. Gotta run. See ya.
Wow, you are so insensitive.
Oh, all right, sorry. My sincerest condolences and all that. Thing about this job is that you just get sick of all them weepy widows always crying at you. Anything else?
What's got you so busy, Luann?
Well, this here, can't you see? I've got to get these coffins together before the Tombs for Everyone charity benefit. But the instruction manual's in gibberish and I can't understand a word. But if anyone can get this done, I can.
I've never heard of do-it-yourself coffins before.
Me neither. But the old Reverend bought these unassembled on the internet and I've just got to deal with it. They're cheaper than pig's milk, but they're good enough for your final rest.
Well, I could think of a case or two in which that might just come in handy. What exactly does Tombs for Everyone consist of?
Well, it's this thing where if you're poor and you kick the bucket, everything's on the house. We pay for the coffin, the hole, the wreath, the stone slab. It used to be called Put a Tomb in Your Life, but that didn't catch on.
What's up with the manual?
Well, it's in Swedish, and not even a schoolmaster can understand it. It's like Chinese, but worse, because you can find a Chinaman anywhere, but who in tarnation knows where to find a Swede?
Would you let me see the assembly manual? I don't know, maybe I could help.
Besides being a rich city slicker, you figure you're some sort of engineer, huh? Well, take it.
Doesn't look easy, but we'll have to try.
You thought I'd just have one manual and wouldn't let you borrow it, huh? Well, Luann's accepting help today, so if you can understand any of that gibberish...
Why are you in such a hurry?
'Cause I met this manly stud and he's waiting for me to get off work. His name's Ernie, and he is the finest gentleman I've ever come across.
I think I know that Ernie guy.
If you try to steal my man, I'll slap you silly. Ernie's mine, you got that? Man, for once I reel in a hot catch and a city broad tries to steal him away from me.
So he's waiting for you? Are you guys going on a date somewhere?
He's taking me bowling. Ain't as serious as going to the Sunday ball, but since they don't have them around here,
You like the guy that much?
better than a new hoe. Man, I'm even thinking of giving up my sacred chrysanthemum to him.
Oh my, how did you meet?
I was hacking away at the hedges. He came over and said some pretty things like that any sane man would fall in love with me, that he couldn't avoid falling for little old me, for me not to stop loving him and stuff like that, about love and the like.
Let's stop gossiping about Ernie.
You stop gossiping. I got dibs on him and he's mine.
What's behind that big door?
My tools. But get close to them and I'll punch your lights out. They're mine, got that? Dang, it's getting colder and colder in here.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of tools do you have?
Man, I got more than the little furry balls on an old sweater. They're mostly garden tools, but I also got the circular saw and the hole-making thing, and the one that puts staples, and the circular saw, and...
You already said that.
What, the circular saw? That's 'cause I like it more than the field without cow pies. It cuts through metal things like a hot knife through butter.
What if I asked you for one tool and promised to return it right away?
What if I smacked you once, but then smacked you again 2 seconds later?
Okay, already, forget it. Talk to you later. I don't want to make you late.
So what do you think you've been doing up to now? This city slicker's not too swift.
Hammer, pliers, file, scissors. This thin one here seems most familiar to me. How weird. It's on, but it's empty.
Well, of course. Who would be such a numbskull as to put something in there?
Why's that?
Because it's always on the fritz, and no sooner do you stick something in it than it goes pow, and it deep freezes everything to the core, so careful. Man, I don't know why I'm even warning her.
Brian's text message said not to leave the cemetery, but I don't see what's wrong with approaching the front gate. Ernie? You're still here?
Gina Basco. How's it going, kid?
Great, fine. I mean, actually terrible. I'm distraught. Thanks for attending the funeral.
Oh, well, I was Basco's favorite orderly, and he was my favorite nut job. How could I miss his funeral? What's more, Happydale didn't send anyone to it. But of course, with everything that's going on down there, that place is like crazy. Hey, Gina, I got a joke for you. You ain't nothing but a mad dog.
Well, well, you sure kept the thing about Luann all to yourself.
How'd you find out?
Ernie, it's easier to catch a man red-handed than a child. Want to know something else? I'd love to know how you met.
Well, it wasn't the best time, but I noticed her during the funeral. Then, when she started trimming some hedges, I went over and showed her my hearty, and we ended up making a date for the bowling alley.
You just drive her crazy. She wants to jump your bones.
And Ernie here wants to jump hers, babe. Don't get me wrong, you're a hottie too, but she is blonde, of course.
You make a great couple.
She is a hunk of love. I can't remember the last time I fell for such a sizzling number. Why, it's been hours.
Don't worry, she'll be out soon.
I hope so, 'cause I really want to hit them pins. Don't get the wrong idea, though. I never make out with a girl on the first date. Except when I want to.
I bet you could spend all day talking about her, but I can't.
Babe, if you were into Luann as much as Ernie is, well, we'd have us a problem. Or on second thought, things could get interesting.
There's something I need to tell you about Brian.
Shoot, babe. I'm all ears.
Did you notice anything strange about him in his final days?
You know what, babe? I think Brian knew he had something coming. He was nervous-like. Couldn't stop pacing around, talking to one guy, then another. It's as if he had a sixth sense, telling him, "Get a move on, kid. Things are almost over with here." Wait, I almost forgot. Brian's the one with the bag. Looks good on him, huh?
Clearly he adapted to his new environment pretty well.
Yeah, well, we took this picture the day before Brian, just keep it. It's all yours.
How original. I didn't know people gave gifts at funerals, but thanks.
Nothing's too good for my favorite brunette, darling. If I hadn't fallen in love with Luann today, I'd have done even more.
Did you hear him talk about some place he would have liked to visit?
Not that I can remember now, no.
What do you know about Brian's attempted escape?
Nothing. Just what people were saying. That he tried to escape through the air ducts and that his head got chopped off by a big fan. Poor nutjob.
Who else could tell me more about Brian's final days?
The guys who knew Brian best at Happydale were Dr. Bennett, who's now missing, and his fellow escapees, Jacob Kurgan and Gabbo Spiegelman. You're going to have a hard time, babe.
One other thing. Brian is alive.
Babe, Brian will always be alive in our memories. But you need to turn the page and live your own life. Once I get over this Luann thing, I'll call you up and help you.
What did you really think about Brian?
Well, Ernie already told you. Brian was his favorite nut job. What do you mean?
Do you think Brian murdered Kordsmeyer?
Kordsmeyer was that military brass, right? Hey, I don't know, babe. Maybe he did and maybe he didn't. You never know with these nut jobs.
Do you really think Brian was insane?
Obviously, babe. Crazier than a cuckoo.
By the way, I guess nobody doubts Brian is dead. Like, totally dead, right?
Well, maybe I shouldn't tell you this, but there's rumors that when they found him, he was a bit... how should I put it?
Headless? I know, Ernie. I'm the one who identified his body.
Oh, babe, that's horrible. Then why are you asking this stuff? Who'd know better than you?
Maybe I just need to get used to not talking about Brian all day long.
It's normal, babe. He's always on your mind.
Why did you say the psychiatric hospital is like crazy?
Haven't you heard, hon? Just 2 days ago, right when Brian keeled over, 2 inmates escaped, and Dr. Bennett disappeared. An office ceiling collapsed, and a nurse who just got hired decided to quit. And she was some major eye candy, that little lady. Ooh.
Could you tell me about everything that's happened lately at Happydale?
Why, sure. 2 inmates escaped, and Dr. Bennett disappeared. An office ceiling collapsed, and a nurse who just got hired decided to quit.
Bennett disappeared? The same Dr. Bennett that was treating Brian?
The very same. I don't know if he'd finished his report for the judge, determining whether Brian was crazy or not. But who cares at this point?
Which 2 inmates escaped?
That'll be Jacob Kurgan and Gabbo Spiegelman. From what I've heard, all 3 tried to skip the nut house together, but Brian got the worst part.
Don't you think it's weird that so many unusual things happened in such a short time?
Nope. It's like that movie. Unfortunate events always seem to happen in a series.
Getting back to our last topic. Don't call me Basco. My last name is Timmons.
So, you're ashamed of Basco. I mean, of Brian. Wow. And he never stopped talking about how much he loved you and what a hottie you were. And he wasn't hallucinating either.
Brian and I aren't married. I'm not really sure what you'd call our relationship.
Well then, you're not a widow, and he's nothing more than a deceased friend.
I'd hate to have to give up my father's last name. I've already abused it so much as it is.
Well then, were you using your own name in that place where you used to dance? I thought you would have made up some kind of stage name, like Bubbles or Candy Cane.
How do you know about that? Damn Brian! He's gonna hear from me. He's gonna learn to keep his big fat mouth shut.
I don't mean to take sides, but I think Brian's already learned a thing or two about keeping quiet.
I'm not ashamed of Brian, no matter how nerdy he can be. He's the kindest man I've ever met.
Well, considering the string of gems you've come across in the past. I mean, Brian told me all your exes were, you know, not very recommendable bachelors.
Just drop it. My last name is none of your business.
Okay, babe.
See you later, Ernie.
Later, babe.
Seems like they're fixing... Yeah, these things can rust really fast. Let's see. The shovel. No, kind of creepy in a cemetery. And those metal thingies? No. Cement. What's that? Oh, I know. I'll take one of these adjustable tubular items you can use to prop things up. That might be useful. These are the most luxurious digs in this bone pile. Hi again, Agatha.
Hello, dear.
Could you translate this manual for me? It's in Swedish.
Is Swedish a dead language?
I don't think so.
Then I can't help you, dear. Though, if you find the grave of a Swede here in the graveyard, I can ask him or her to translate it for you. But wait. First, let me think. First, I should make certain that the primordial energy in the graveyard is benign. In other words, I have to wait for the spirits infesting this crypt to express their presence by giving off the usual phantom chill.
See you later, Agatha.
Whenever you want, dear.
I don't know if they'll fit, but ready. Okay, Gina, you spilled more outside the box than you poured in. But I don't think the party concern will notice. You haven't been sleeping well, you're exhausted and nervous, and do you know how hard it is to pour ashes without expert help? Yes. The water won't come out of this. Well, there are still some ashes stuck to the bottom, but oh well. I'm not sure if this water transfer will do any good, but I'll try. Ready. Okay, why the heck not? Let's see how long it takes to freeze.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Pow! It's already frozen. Man, it's cold.
No, I need something to help me keep it frozen once I've taken it out. That's it. I can use the urn as a thermos so that the ice doesn't
What's
melt.
this?
Or freeze my pocket. I hope my hand doesn't go cryogenic. Luann was right. It's frozen solid. That sounds good. The end of the cable has no plastic coating, so it'll be much more sensitive to the cold than the rest. So let's see.
A thermal manifestation! Oh, my spirits. What lovely creatures.
Hey, it worked! I feel bad about tricking Agatha, but I guess I've done worse things in my time. And with a lot less payoff than now. What about Agatha? Oh, there she is. Hey, Agatha, what are you doing here?
Congratulate me, dear. They gave me permission.
Congratulations. Who gave you permission and what for?
Didn't you hear the ectothermal machine beeping? The spirits of the Kilgore brothers, the primordial energy force in this graveyard, have authorized me to proceed with my research on their turf.
Oh, wow, how cool.
So you need not fear anything any longer, dear. Just answer me honestly. Why is your tormented spirit still wandering through this world?
Because I'm not dead yet?
Come on, are you sure?
I'd bet my life on it. But there are other things I'm not so sure about.
Oh, you have questions? Tell me. I'm your medium.
Heard any more voices from beyond the grave?
What are you talking about, dear? Oh, no. Ever since I left that crypt, not a peep, not a wailing sob, not a boo, not a thing.
What are you doing out here?
Nothing, dear. I'm verifying the tests performed by the ectothermal scanning machine to check the sudden parabiothermal coldness detected in the Kilgore crypt.
What did you need to translate the manual into Swedish?
If you find the grave of a Swede here in the graveyard, I can ask him or her to translate it for you.
See you around, Agatha.
Goodbye, dear.
Okay, let's see what it's about. Yikes. Could it be any spookier? It's a list of names with the dates and places of birth and death and the location of the person's grave. Huh? If a person is in this directory, that means they're dead, doesn't it? However... Eureka! Ingerman Holgren, born in Norrköping, Sweden, and his grave is in Sector D, Path 2, Aisle... Here it is! But the truth is, I don't know why I'm so incredibly happy. I mean, I just found a dead guy, and considering where I am, that's not exactly an amazing feat. If I find... She looks... What's up, Agatha?
Nothing much, dear.
How are those readings coming?
I'm still studying them, dear. But at least I'm able to contact the graveyard spirits without their bosses raising utter pandemonium.
Now that the spirits in charge around here are your friends, think you could help me with that Swedish manual?
Oh dear, it completely slipped my mind. Now where was that poor man?
Ingerman Holgren. Here he is.
Now, my dear, you just wait for me over there.
But...
I need some peace now, to get my capacity for understanding to rise to the world of the spirits. Ingerman, I invoke you. Ingerman, come and show yourself. Oh. Montarinstructione. Let's see what this book says. Instructions for the assembly.
Agatha, what you just did is absolutely amazing.
Oh, my dear, you've no idea.
Really, thanks to you, I have just what I needed. The fully translated Flichting Coffin Assembly Manual.
I'm catching cold.
What would you say if I told you that I had translated the coffin assembly manual?
That if you're lying, I'll smack you upside the head. Oh, my sweet lordy. Wow. Yes, this'll be a cinch. Now, in 5 minutes, I can do this body box. Then I'll get gussied up and it's off to the bowling alley with Ernie. So, will you show the coffin to the Reverend and close up the workshop for me?
Okay, fine. You run along. Don't worry.
So, it turns out you're a real nice person after all. Move out, Ernie.
I'll be seeing you later, hot duck.
At last, I'm alone. Finally. There's Luann's famous circular saw. It's heavy, but I'm sure I will be needing it. Atlas Under the Weight of the World, donated by Angelos Louisopoulos. Brian told me that this guy holds up the heavens, or something like that, according to the ancient Greeks, I believe. The ends are attached using a small hook. I don't know if I can, but I'll try. Ah, yikes! The strap is on so tight that there's no way to get it off. I could stick it in the empty space between the two parts of the ball, but when I pull on it, the strap would break and the broken part would fall off. Good idea. And when the strap gets a little bit less tight, I'll finally be able to take it off. Looky there, now I have two. File the block? Of course. I can file away the mortar between the other blocks, and then it'll be easier to move. File that mortar down, let's get to it.
Wasabi. No, the broad's still inside, and I'm starting to get knackered. We're on it. Yo, Fatzilla, bad news, dude. Seems we can't go in. We have to wait for her here, then follow her. You have such a way with words.
Well, that wasn't easy, but I managed to file all of the mortar away. Okay, so I got rid of the mortar, but I wonder if I can drag away the stone with the strap. Ready. Good idea. Though besides that, I think I've come up with another one of my brilliant ideas. I know it seems a bit strange, but, well, it might work. Yeah, it's such a silly idea that it might even work. But I don't know what I could attach them together with. What am I saying? What about the ribbon from the funeral wreath? Come on, let's get down to work. That turned out even better than I expected. Let's see how well it holds. If I did that, the angel would only be hanging from the front cable, and it would fly head first towards the underground chamber. Oh my God, what a mess I've made. Yes, the stone moved. Although, when Reverend McCormick comes back, I know one parapsychologist who's gonna have a lot of explaining to do. Poor old woman. Oh well. Sure, that way you won't trip over it. Huh, that pole must have fallen off after what happened with the angel. I'll put it back in place so I don't trip. I'd rather keep it. Great idea. Bring it on, Gina. Brian, if you can hear me, stay away from the wall. Hi-ya! Brian? Brian?
What, you don't know where he is?
Who are you?
The guy who sent you the text message. Banana!
Wait a minute. You're Gabbo, Brian's friend from the psychiatric hospital. What are you doing in here?
Sleeping. I didn't intend to stay in the box. I got in before the burial. I was gonna try to meet you afterwards. To find out where BASCO is, but it turns out you don't know either. Improvise, Spiegelman!
Did you fall asleep inside the grave?
Narcolepsy. Let's go.
Where to?
Out. To find the only guy who can help BASCO.
Weren't there some thugs by the exit?
I'll kill one guy, you take the other. How's that?
Hey, are you nuts?
Okay. Let's try to Steve McQueen. I'll need a couple of cars.
Ah, there she is, the little cow. That wait was so boring, man. What the...
Hurry up, get in!
Okay, she got away. No, we'll find her. That little slapper's dead, I swear.
You can go to sleep. If you make a wrong turn, I'll tell you. Turn off there! There!
Is this where that friend of yours is going to save Brian is?
No, we won't get there till dawn. My stomach has feelings too, you know.
Tell me about Brian.
About Basco? How do I know? Took him a long time to get used to Happy Dale. At first he was horrified, but, you know, not everybody's cut out for living in the nut house. It's like this. The worst part is that swine Kurgan made life real hard on him. He does that with all the rookies, but Basco stood up to him. I liked the guy. I said, we're like kindred spirits. Banana! And he was. No one can steal keys or trick an orderly or fool a nurse like he can. And at night, even though he was hard to convince, that kid had a natural-born talent for poker. And he hardly even paid attention. He'd spend the whole day thinking about his next hypnotherapy session with Dr. Bennett. I'm innocent and I'm sane, he'd always say. Soon I'll be free and get back to Gina again. 2 days ago, yeah, it was Monday. On Monday, he went totally berserk from the therapy.
Bennett wants to throw me in jail. I've got to escape.
We'll miss you.
Gabbo, you've escaped hundreds of times. You've got to help me out of here.
Pipe down, Basco, let me think. What you need is a Clint Eastwood.
Huh?
It's an escape designed for beginners. Not very artistic, but effective.
I'm not going back to jail. Tell me what needs to be done and I'll do it.
Listen up. You go into the casino and climb through the vent for the air conditioning ducts. Right behind the cover, you'll find a map. Use it to get to the central fan. A huge tube comes out of there. Climb up one of the numbered ladders. Doesn't matter which one, but don't even think of going up number 2. Slip between the bars, and you'll reach the tower at the top of the roof. You'll see a cable that leads down to the highway right outside the walls of Happy Dale. Just slide down that puppy end.
Thanks for the plan. Enjoy your stay, idiot.
Kurgan! Stop! Open up, Kurgan! Open it! Now what do I do? That psycho stole our plan.
Basco, the art of running away involves much more than following a plan to the T. Improvise.
But how am I supposed to get into the casino? That psycho locked the door from the inside.
Improvise, I say. And don't be dozing off. You gotta get everything ready to escape right when the clock strikes midnight. Not a minute later or a minute sooner.
Could you remind me what the original escape plan was?
Go into the casino. Go into the air ducts through the vent. Follow the map you find until you reach the central fan. Climb up the tube and slide through the bars. Drop down the cable on the roof and you're free.
Why do I have to go into the air ducts through the vent in the casino?
You can't use the air vent in the common areas because there's always someone who can see you. The air duct vents in the rooms are so close to the cabinets that they're impossible to use. Only Munchkin Bob managed to get through one. But of course he was smaller than a shoebox. In other words, the air duct vent in the casino is the only sensible choice. Banana.
Why do you have a room all to yourself?
Connections. I guess somebody pays for me to be treated like a softie, and I ain't gonna complain about that.
I'm gonna keep planning my escape, Gabbo.
Good for you.
See you later, Gabbo.
Okay, and you can tell me about how Bennett sold you up the river, right?
Now would be better. When I came to, after being hypnotized, Bennett was already at his desk talking on the phone.
Judge Whitley, I was just wanting to, oh, it's all settled now. Well, first thing tomorrow, I'll have the report to you. But in conclusion, he's lying. He's not mentally ill. He's completely cognizant of his acts. He belongs in a prison and should never be let out.
Nice story, Basco. Now get back to work.
Great. What can I do to get into that casino?